Yo, welcome guys, my name is System. In this video, I want to talk about something that is completely changing my life right now, and something that I just want to so much talk about because I feel that like not that many people knows about this, and it's like affecting your life totally. And if I will not do anything about it, I would literally like just not do anything in life. I would have the most miserable life that I could, because yeah, we're gonna talk about today past traumas and how does it affect our whole life. So this is not only for Counter-Strike players, however it is as well, because it's limiting not only your performance but also just in general like success and stuff, but also for just in general like people, right, that don't need to try to be successful. They just want to like just feel good, feel better, and just like live their good life, right? um, so basically what I found out that, for example, if you're talking about Counter-Strike metrics, what I found out is that I was here, right, at the bottom, and that was like my 2.4k elo, right? 2.3k even. And so elo, if you don't know, elo is a metric of like a points, and more points you have, the with better players you're playing, right? And then I went into the top one, which is like 3k elo, right? And then what happened is that I just dropped down eventually again to top 2.4, and then I went up again to 3k elo, and I went down, and it was just this process completely. And what I didn't know is that I was capped here. That was my line, and I was capped here. And I thought I'm making progress eventually, but I did not. The pattern kept repeated. And to be honest, I'm really good player. I'm really good player. When I'm playing my own game, I can do so much stuff, and everyone can do. Okay, it's not I'm good. Bro. Everyone can do this. Like everyone can play like Donk. Donk is not talented. He's just playing his own game freely. And you can say, okay, let's play our game freely. No, it's not like that easy. That's why you need to do this. And this is called shadow work. That's what we're gonna talk about. Because there is a reason why this pattern keeps repeating. There is a reason why I'm kept here. And because of that I cannot progress. And this is how fucking dangerous it is. Another example could be, and this is just like a real life example, that you're a person that wants to go into this direction, and he wants to get some certain success, right? Whatever it is, money, or certain like just certain success, right? But then he's going for it, and it's that like a pool that is pulling away, and there is something that just doesn't want it. And again, this is a shadow work. This is the same thing. So you're wanting something consciously, but subconsciously you don't want it. We're gonna talk about it today. It's really dangerous if you don't do it, okay? I'm not saying it just for you to watch this video and whatever. It's up to you if you want to watch this video. Again, there is not like flashy editing or something. It is just like pure raw content. So if you like this, then subscribe, because I'm gonna make more videos like this. But basically, this is a shadow work video, free flowy talk kind of, that we're gonna explore shadow work deeply, and I'm gonna tell you finally the practical steps and my own personal experience. I'm gonna get personal here, and it's not because of I would like somehow flex on you or something, no, but it's because I want this to get related by others, because we can talk about it like theoretically, but if I'm not gonna tell my own personal experience, it's probably not gonna relate to you, right? So that's why I want to do it. So what is shadow work? That's the first thing. So shadow work is that when we are as a child, right, we have like a two worlds, right? So we either have home, right, or we have and I don't know how to write this, we have a school, right? So this is like a two words, home and school. For us, as a children, this is our world. That's our perception of the world. And the problem is that if something bad is happening in your house, something bad is happening in your school, it can lead to self-rejection. It can lead to feeling not being good enough, or feeling abandoned, or like feeling that you're not worthy enough, or something like this. And this is a really big problem, because if you feel like that, then when you're grown as an adult, the part of you that still believe it is still there. And I'm gonna tell you right now why. So um, this is a really cool example. It's from a certain book that I heard about, and the example is that when you have an animal, like for example deer, um, I have so much good drawing skills. Let's go. And he is, for example, here attacked by a bear. Okay, and so now he can either fight, right, or he can flight. Fight is he's gonna fight him. Flight is that he's gonna run away. But for example, if he's in corner or somewhere that where he cannot flight, or he's like out of stamina or whatever, he's gonna what? He's gonna freeze. That's the third option that you can do, because then the pain will not hurt anymore, right? And maybe the bear will just leave because it sees like it's dead, so he doesn't have the interest or whatever. So that's kind of like the reflex. And when the deer for some reason survives, right? Then what he does, and you see it with all the animals, is that he shake it off. He shake it off, he process the trauma that happened, and he just goes away, right? And with us humans, it just doesn't work like that. Why? Because we have egos, okay? And because we want to get accepted in a group so hard, right? We are doing all those things, and that's why we cannot show ourselves weak, because then it's not accepted, right? So if we literally just have certain traumatic experience and then we cannot process it, then what's gonna happen is that we still have it in our body. And now I want to talk about a really important thing, and that's how this thing is actually building up. So for example, if something happened here, so I'm gonna give you an example. um, my personal own, I get lost in when I was in Bulgaria, when I was like 5 years old, okay, and I get lost. Okay, we were by the sea, and my like family just or my parents with like one brother were just going away, because you know they were just like getting some stuff, and my brother should like look after me, but you know he wasn't just paying attention or something, and I just was like following some butterfly, and I went from like just to a different like a sea coast literally, and there was so many people surrounded and I was just alone, right? And obviously normally you as an adult would react that okay, just go the way that you went, right? But for me it was traumatic experience because I was alone. And so from that point I developed fear of being alone, right? And this is tied to rejection, because when you get rejected, right, you are alone. That's kind of like the assumption, right? So what kind of followed is that I build up on those a certain other experience, right? So for example, someone rejected me, right? And then followed again, and all those rejections were painful, but they were building up like a certain like a tree, or like some certain like a, you know, it just gets more bigger, right? Or you can think about it as a glass, right? So you have an empty glass, and then it keeps like filling up. There's like the core belief of that, and then it's filling up, filling up, filling up, and then you're walking with those glasses, and it just keeps like you have this in your body, right? And the problem is that when there is a risk of getting rejected, I get what? Triggered. It calls triggered. And what is triggered is a certain activator um, trigger, okay? And that's when you feel in your stomach so much pain, hurt, so much stress, like it just, you cannot do anything. You're fully like locked. And that's when the shadow, which was my 5-year-old, telling me that I cannot be rejected, I cannot be alone, I don't want to I don't want to re-experience what had happened to me in Bulgaria on the vacation. So that's why, and I have all the proofs that it keeps happening here. So that's why I cannot let you to be rejected, okay? And now we are avoiding rejection. And what's the bad thing is that, first of all, when you get rejected, it's fucking emotionally intense, okay? Second of all, you don't want to get rejected, so you're not authentic, right? You're trying to fit in. You don't present yourself as authentic because you're avoiding rejection, which is really bad, right? It's limiting, and that's where like social anxiety and everything kind of builds. And so that's one of the examples, right? Another thing that is pretty important to understand is how this trigger kind of works, how it layers. So it has 3 layers. So first of all, trigger has an anger layer, okay? So when you experience anger, like for example, you're hateful towards something, you're hateful towards someone, you're hateful just in general, like you have this anger in you, like just weird, like it's like so weird anger. It's like too much, you know, it's like hatefulness and stuff. You need to understand that this is a layer, this is like a surface, and what you need to do is that you need to go deeper into the surface. So then when you let the anger experience, what you're gonna find is actually you're fearing something, and then under the fear there is the the pain, the pain, the hurtness, and you cry and stuff like this, right? And you're trying to hide it by the fear and by the anger, right? But this is the gold. The pain, the hurt is the goal. Because the point is that the ego is having a layers of anger, of fear, but the pain, hurt is actually the experience that happened to you. It's actually something that what you need to re-experience, okay? And that's really important. You need to re-experience it, and that's all about it, shadow work. So we kind of, I'm gonna like go around, but it's the basics, right? That is really important for us to understand. And now we can like categorize it, how to do the process of shadow work. So definitely first thing is introspection. This is this is a big thing, right? So introspect is really important. Um, where you can find introspection. So first of all, definitely patterns. Patterns are really important. So what is good is that you can look at your life, right? And it can be again like CS, right? If you're playing CS, like it can be that you are always going from 2.4 kilo to 3 kilo and then going back, and you know, or in teams you get always like kicked out really early or something like this, whatever. Um, Patterns are a big one. For example, in real life, um, when you're always in new collective, you are the outsider, right? You are not like the with the main group. You're always like with someone like that is um, introverted or like some outsider and stuff. So you're not like with the main group, and this pattern keep repeating. Or for example, you get in some in relationships, it's really good to get in some toxic relationships, patterns, and all the things you need to write it down and then really brainstorm on that. Okay. Now the obviously second thing is trigger. So when you're getting triggered, which means again anger, fear, right? Um, Fear is like the most one common, but anger as well, again, as you said, is the layer. If you having trigger, write it down immediately. What trigger you? What scenario trigger you? And what is the best thing um, is actually talking with your trigger. And this is kind of like a bit philosophical, but for me, I imagine that I'm this guy, and in me, inside of me, there is a certain shadows, right? And I like to name them. It's really good to name them because what it means is that when something happens, you know it's not you, but it's your shadow. It's your like the child that experienced that, right? This traumatic experience, and this shadow is can tell you so much valuable information. So what we tend to do is we tend to numb the shadow. We tend to numb the trigger, and because we just don't want to face it. But what you want to do is exactly the opposite. You want to tune into the shadow, tune into the sensation, the feeling, and actually ask it, um, why, right? And when. This is like important. Like ask why and when. So for example, okay, I am playing, and this is again my personal experience. I am playing a Face It with 3 kilo players, right? With pros. Okay, I'm playing Face It with pros, and I'm fucking stressing, and it's like pressure as hell. Like I cannot play. I can, like, it. Why? Ask it why. Don't numb it. Don't escape. Don't try to avoid it. Ask it why. When I ask it why, then it replies, and again, you don't think about it. It's something just will came up. Something will just come up from the shadow, and it will answer you the question. It doesn't need to that much make sense. It just like write always everything down and just like ask why. And for me, um, for example, because I don't want to get rejected, or because I'm not enough, right? That's the thing. So I'm not enough, right? And then like when you get into the cause, like you're asking like why are you not enough, and it tells you because like this thing and because of this thing. For example, I'm not enough because I don't know, I hate a certain looks on myself, right? That's why I'm not enough. Or I hate my certain personality, like type of personality, right? And then you ask when, and that's really important question. When I start to hate this part of myself, okay? It can be personality or it can be looks, one of those two. And then you actually ask why, and then you get into certain traumatic experience. And what you now do is that you're gonna re-experience it. So you're gonna go back, and the best thing is when you are triggered, because when you are triggered, it's actually opened. You can work with it. And now when you are triggered, you can now re-experience it. How you can re-experience it is going through the layers, right? So going through the anger, going through the fear, going to the hurtness. That's the goal, right? The hurtness, the pain, and it's uncomfortable. It's fucking dark times. You're gonna be suffering a lot. It's it's so bad. That's why we're avoiding it, right? It's really really painful, but this is the only way. And when you re-experience it, then you have this feel of relief, completely, like it feels so awesome. And obviously it's not one-time process, so you need to get constantly triggered, right? And then do it again, but you're gonna see the progress. Like you do it first time, you see a process, you see a progress in that, and then you get like less triggered, less triggered. It's like way like then you can like even control it, and that's like awesome. That's just awesome. So that's the whole formula of shadow work, and I think this is something that will definitely change your life. Now, when we talk about my own experience, and this is again for you, maybe you can relate. Uh, I have it like, and this is my own system again. So I have like a cards. Okay, I don't know why, but I love like cards and making everything like systematic in cards and stuff. So I have like a cards, right? And each card, so I have like a 4 cards that are running me. Okay, like a shadows, for shadows. First shadow, first card is fear of being alone. Okay, and this is as I said in Bulgaria. This happened to me in Bulgaria, and this kind of make me to feel that if I cannot be alone, right? Because it's like I'm gonna die, right? So that's why I cannot be rejected. So you have always like this equation to a shadow. Then what happened to me was in a middle school where I rejected myself, and I have fear of not being enough, good enough. So fear of not being good enough, that's the other thing. I rejected myself for who I am. So it happened to me in middle school, and I disown parts. And again, when you are not being good enough, it's think about it as an elevator. Okay, so I'm gonna write it down here. This is good enough, right? You were born as a good enough person, right? You're good enough always. But then when a certain things hit, right? There is not enough. And then you have a certain like a line, I guess here, and that's fear of not enough. And that's the thing. So when you reject a parts of yourself, your self-esteem is going down, right? And each kind of this thing you can think about as a bar, like is going down, and when it reach this line of fear of not enough, that's when you have that fear of not enough, right? And I understand it this way, that you reject so much parts of yourself in a sense of looks, right? In a sense of personality, that now your ego knows that we are fucked, we are cooked. Like in the world, we cannot succeed, we cannot be acceptable because we are not enough. So what we need to do is we actually need to look for external rewards. We actually need to grind, right? And funny story, because of that fear of not being good enough, that's why I start to grind CS. That's why I start to becoming pro. Not because of I like it, because I want it, but because of I wasn't enough. And being a pro, this status would give me enough, and that would give me like money, girls, friends, everything, right? So that was my insecurity the whole time, and then I release it, and I just say, bro, like I was so harsh on myself, like it was crazy, and I hated myself, like I hate my parts of myself. And again, how to re-own them is by understanding what are the parts, and when did you start, like what was the initial experience. Okay, for me it was like comparisons, like I wasn't enough when it comes to comparisons to others, and that's why I like start to hate myself, right? The next one is a big one for me, and that's fear of being hurted. And this is this I'm gonna make a skull here. This is a big one. This actually happened to me in high school, which is actually late, I would say. I think it's actually late to be happen this thing, because you mostly gonna have like post-traumatic experience in like maximum in middle school, right? But because of I wasn't enough, that's when this kind of like gets me as well. And that was an high school experience that I was getting bullied, okay? And because I wasn't enough in that time, I couldn't stand for myself. And because I couldn't stand for myself, all the things that he does to me, I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't just like set my boundaries, I couldn't do anything. So I simply just developed a certain survival mechanism that made me like just try to um, hide from again getting bullied, right? And that's why I kind of like isolate myself. That's why I lost trust in people. And yeah, I mean, a lot of shit was there, to be honest, like a lot of bad stuff. And this one is still for me. This one is really active for me still, because it's a lot of things. Okay, it's a lot of work, but I'm really happy that you can do something about it, because there is so many people that are saying like if you're getting bullied, you have like a lifetime effects, right? Like you cannot be successful. You are having social anxiety and stuff. I was saying just fuck it, bro. Those guys like they don't know about shadow work. And when I start to believe that the shadow work can help me, I actually start to heal myself. It was crazy, and I see so much progress, and it's just awesome. And this is like something that just helped me so much. So again, even with those really like big things, right? um, you can still make it. Like the shadow work is working. Okay, I can say that. And then we have a fear of what I had, fear of not living maximum potential. And this is kind of like the thing that I again kind of encounter on high school. Um, and that's, yeah, I mean, just in general, like I'm scared that I'm not gonna live to my maximum potential, and the neediness is to go pro, simply. So again, another reason, not only that I'm not enough, but I also need to go pro because if I'm not going, then I'm gonna work in some jobs that I hate, and I'm gonna be, yeah, I mean, I hate the system. Like that's just my own opinion, and I just can't fucking like do this stuff, and that's why I wanna like also like I just need to fucking play CS. I need to grind. I need to go pro, and I'm happy that I released it. I'm really happy. Like it's awesome because those things were keeping me playing fully CS, like not being good enough, and also like this thing. And then I was scared of rejections, and then I was scared of getting bullied, and all those things I was like brewing inside of me. It was crazy. Like um, no, like obviously that I'm not gonna get like too far with that. Like not too far. I'm not gonna go anywhere with that. I was playing CS for fucking 5 years, and I was avoiding so much things, and I actually didn't get anywhere. But now, finally, I'm hitting higher elo, so I'm facing I can play with pros. It's way better. It's like the progress is insane, and I'm really proud of myself, and I'm really proud that I can share this with you guys, and I'm really yeah, I hope this can relate because that's why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video for you, for you that actually wants to elevate in their lives, and that like just they're like fucking sick and tired of living the life that they're living, because I was like, bro, like I just thought that that's my life, that's my default. Living in this fucking constant social anxiety stuff, living in this constant like fears and constant like pushing, grinding towards something. No, this is not life. This is not how life should be lived. So that's why I'm making this video, so you can like get um yeah, just what is the path right now. So I hope I explain everything. If you have some questions, even get personal, it's up to you. I will help you with that. Just write it down. And yeah, have a nice night, have a nice day. See ya.